Hello and welcome to Last Chess Week tonight, episode number 3 already. There's plenty more has been going on in the Chess Week this week, especially considering we are still in the middle of a pandemic, but I have two great guests with me tonight. First up will be Alexander Donchenko, who has just won one of the rare over-the-board tournaments being played at the moment. And then 45 minutes from now, we'll have Pepe Cuenca, the heart and soul of Chess24 Spain, who doesn't know him. But first of all, let me bring on Mr. Alexander Donchenko. Alex, welcome.
Hello, Fiona. Hello.
It's really good to have you here. And first of all, congratulations are in order. You just won the Tegernsee Masters tournament. So how do you feel?
Actually, I feel pretty amazing. It's not only was it a strong tournament, but it was basically the only strong tournament that is being played over the board right now. And it might be for some time, so I'm very happy that I could do really well here.
Yeah, well, we are going to talk. Let me actually pull up the results, pull up the cross table. It was a dominating performance. We'll talk in a second about why Vincent was taken out of the tournament, but basically you scored 6.5 out of the 8 games that you played.
Yeah.
In this show, we don't look so much at the games. I will ask you later if you have a favorite game, but tell us how I guess pretty satisfied, but how satisfied were you with your performance and your play?
Obviously the result is great. The games were also very good for the most part. In fact, I believe that, let's say, I maybe missed out on half a point somewhere, but then again, I gained it perhaps even in the last round or in round 6, where I could have easily spoiled something to a draw. So in general, I just think I played really well and without being humble, scored accordingly. But it's always good when you can say that.
It's always also good not to be too humble. Let me show our viewers maybe a quick photo from, I believe, your last game that you played this morning against Paravian. So how were you feeling going into the last round? Matthias Bluebaum was still half a point behind you. So how did you feel going into that last game with the black pieces?
I was actually a little bit nervous. Although there was, the fact is I was winning the tournament mathematically with a draw. Mm-hmm. So my Sonneborn Burger would have been better even in worst case scenario. And okay, when I realized that, I just decided to focus on the game because basically there was nothing Matthias could do to hurt me. There was only something I could do to hurt myself if I didn't play well.
And how do you actually how do you deal with such a game? Do you, in a way, find it harder when you know that a draw is enough?
Sometimes it is, in fact, the case, and I believe today it was also. I'm not exactly sure what I played for, as long as the position was unclear, because I got myself into quite a tricky position, and then of course I just played the moves to not make it worse, but. In general, you can make these mistakes when a draw is enough. In fact, I remember still very vividly that I played a last round game against Vallejo at the European Championship 2016. And a draw would have been enough to qualify for the World Cup. But he wanted to play on, and he played a very good game. And I was just not prepared to defend for a long time until it was already too late. And I lost that game after a long struggle.
Yeah, so something definitely, I think it's a very difficult thing to do for players of all levels. And in a way, sometimes it's almost not helpful to know that a draw is enough. But let me pull back up the final cross table and let's talk for a second about Vincent Keimer. I think a lot of people in Germany and internationally had been looking forward to seeing him play. He played one game and then he unfortunately had to pull out. Can you tell us what happened to Vincent?
To me, it also came as very much of a surprise. When I arrived for round 2, I just noticed that there are 4 boards instead of 5. And the story with him is that I believe, a couple of days before the tournament started, he had an exam at school. And one of the people who was in that room writing the same exam was tested positive for the coronavirus. So all, I think it's called first degree contacts or something. Well, anyone who had direct contact with that person had to be quarantined, including Vincent. And he got the news on basically, I think Sunday it was, after the first round. And there was just no room to make another decision. I believe the tournament organizer Sebastian Siebrecht tried, but there was just no way around it, and he could not play and be around other people officially.
Yeah, a great pity, of course, that he had to pull out. But I believe he is well. From what I know, he hasn't caught it. I think he had also tested negative, so I'm sure we will see him back soon. And tell us a bit about the tournament. How was it to be playing there? I actually, when I prepared the show, I thought, well, I know you quite well. We're teammates, so I know you're a very active player. And I thought, let's see how much Alex has actually played during this pandemic. And I saw you had tournaments for all the last 4 or 5 waiting lists. So tell us a bit about how was it there at Tegernsee and how did it compare with other players that you played over the summer and autumn?
Yes, I played reasonably a lot, more or less as much as I would do in normal years. There are actually people who played more. 2 of them played here. These are Leon Mendonca and Pierluigi Basso. They played basically non-stop since June. Mm-hmm. But even the way I played, I think it's very good that tournaments are still happening and that they're happening in good conditions. So that basically I can still sit at the board and focus on my game and do this in a reasonable way. That, for example, I don't have to wear a mask at the board, which for me would be quite a handicap, I believe.
Were there any tournaments? So let's talk about the ones. Well, this photo, first of all, I should let people know the photo that's showing here. It was taken during the Tegernsee tournament, and I have written down where else you played since the summer. So you played in the Czech Republic in July. You played the German Masters in August. Then you played in Slovakia, is that correct? And the Bundesliga in September?
That is correct. And I also played another tournament that counted for November. The
Klaus-Dieter Meyer Gedenkturnier.
Exactly. So I think it's 5 in total by now.
And how did they compare, and what were the different measures for each tournament?
I believe in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, everything was very lax at that time still. So they basically played as in 2019, more or less, which was quite refreshing, honestly. And I think I did great in both tournaments because honestly, it kind of lifts you out of a depression when you kind of see that everything is still fine. I know it's a risk, but still, when you sit down at the board, you still feel happy about it. And in Germany, well, as you can see in the photo, it's usually that you play with these glass panels between the players, and basically when you get up from the board you have to wear a mask wherever you go, but as long as you sit down at the board you can basically sit and think normally.
Has the glass panel been a problem at any point for you? I guess for classical it's fine, but have you had any time scrambles or any issues with it?
In fact, I have played the Biel Chess 960 tournament. I was invited as a very late replacement there, and they played with exactly the same setup. The tournament was at a rapid time control, and even though it had 5-second increment, you did not want to go very low on time because the 5-second increment is wasted very easily when you have to scramble through that little hole in the middle of the board and try to make a long move. It's not working out nicely. So it's only a thing for classical games, really.
And well, speaking of how you have played quite a bit over the last few months, and now you just today, actually, for people who don't realize, the Tegernsee Masters actually just concluded this morning, so you're a very fresh winner of that. Do you have any other tournaments lined up for the next weeks or months, or how is it looking?
Unfortunately, not yet. It's quite tricky because now again measures are becoming more strict basically everywhere. So tournaments are getting cancelled all around the world. But I'm still looking, and okay, so far I've literally just finished playing. So for the next month or so, it's not necessary. But later on, let's say I will keep looking.
You'll keep looking. We'll be keeping our fingers crossed for you. With today's result and your victory in the tournament, I'm now pulling up the list. This is the list from November 1st of Germany's top 10 players. So going into November, I think your last tournament was not counted yet in that. I know it was, sorry. So you went into November on a rating of 26.58, but you actually won 14 points in Tegernsee, which is quite an impressive rating gain, which means that your live rating is now 26.68, and you are ranked number 72 in the world. I saw you shot up 20 places with your performance in Tegernsee. So tell us, is that an all-time high for you, and how does it feel to have this, to be shooting up the rankings?
I'm not actually sure if it's an all-time high in terms of live rating, but since I don't plan to play anything until December, it will probably be once the ratings are published. And of course, it's especially at this level, it is quite a big step. 14 points is you need to win a lot of games or draw an absurd amount of games against very high-rated players. And I hope the trend will continue once I get to play more tournaments over the board. Mm-hmm. And of course, since it is very fresh in my mind, of course, right now I'm just happy that the tournament finished and that I did really well. So we'll have to see how it goes from here.
Absolutely. Tell us, what is next for you? Is something, for example, like 2700, or saying, I think you and Matthias are actually very close for the top spot of German #1 player. How much do these things mean to you? These kind of milestones?
The German #1, I think I was German #1 for a month. Then I played the German Masters in August and I lost some points, after which Matthias overtook me. Mm-hmm. And the first time I held the top spot, so to say, it was quite a big thing for me, and you realize this is the next step, so to speak. But now Matthias is in front of me, maybe not for long, hopefully. But I don't think it matters that much to me anymore, and I'm just basically looking at the world rankings. So I will try to get at least close to 2700 with the next few tournaments, and basically I'm not trying to look at Germany. I'm trying to look for bigger challenges.
Actually, maybe for all the viewers, tell us how old you actually are and how long you've been playing chess and all that. I know I'm taking it way back now, but there we go.
I'm 22 years old. I've been playing chess since I was 8, and I'm a grandmaster since I'm 16.
And so you're saying, you don't care so much about the German rankings, you're more looking at the world rankings. How is it for you? Do you always just go into a tournament saying, okay, I'll do my best? Or did you ever set yourself goals like, okay, I want to do this next or that next? Or how do you approach it?
That mostly depends on the tournament. But in this case, for example, in general, I wanted to win the tournament. That's the set goal. But perhaps even a more important goal is just to gain rating points, because really that is what matters right now. I'm not playing a tournament that has, like, let's say, an official title on it. I can't qualify for the World Cup. So I'm basically just trying to improve my world position. And I can do this by gaining rating. It's very simple. And like this, every game actually matters. So it's easier to stay motivated even when the tournament is going not so well. Basically, I'm fighting in every game.
Yeah, I think it's a good approach, and I've seen it firsthand. So you and I have been teammates in the French league for a number of years now, and I have to say I've always been so impressed with first of all your discipline, like how well prepared you came to the games, and like an incredible sort of motivation and will to win. What would you say are your strongest points when it comes to competition chess?
My strongest points, that is actually not so easy to tell, but I don't know, because I believe most players have those kind of days when they just feel that nothing can go wrong. Mm. And you get your kind of position that you basically know in and out. And somehow, for example, in this tournament, I had 2 such days where I won 2 white games against Nisipiano and Basso. And I don't know. Perhaps the positions I played in those games can be counted as my strengths, but it's just really about the feeling that you have during those games that you have the confidence that you're absolutely doing the right thing. And I mean, if someone really plays amazingly, they will make a draw against you, but there is nothing more to gain against you at that day.
I like that. I like that set of mind. There's actually a question in the chat from Maripant, and I've pulled up the cross table one more time. She's saying there was a Belgian player who was trying for his GM title. Did you enjoy your game against Daniel Darda? And maybe can you tell us a bit more about him?
Daniel Darda, yes, actually. Well, I know he's a very young Belgian player, and I think the currently greatest talent in Belgium. My game against him was actually, it had kind of two parts. The first part was when we had some advanced Caro-Kann, and in fact, it went quite smoothly for me. I gained an advantage quickly with black and got a close to winning and then winning position. And then basically things started to go south for me because I just didn't manage to close it off. At first before the time control and then after the time control, and it became a very long struggle, and he made it a very long struggle by he sacrificed a piece temporarily in the end game to prolong the game even more, and at some point I was actually almost allowing a draw, and I needed to be very precise till the end. So I think he definitely has potential. I mean, he's still 15, and there is really no reason to, let's say, be pressed for time when you're 15 and almost a grandmaster already.
That's true. Tell us a bit, actually, just a final question about the Tegernsee before we move on to a different topic. How was it there, like, in these times of pandemic? Because usually at tournaments, I mean, people socialize. You might see people, in the evening meet up or analyze or, have dinner to, like, how is this whole aspect of outside the chessboard during these times?
At this tournament, I have to say it was actually not so bad because most of the players know each other, or at least got to know each other very fast. And for the first couple of days, actually restaurants and stuff was still open, and you could more or less do what you would normally do. After that, you don't meet in big groups or anything, but still you generally see the players you play with a lot, and you can communicate with them, which is, let's say, more than, for example, I could do in Bremen, but most of the time. And if you get to do that very little, it just kind of weighs on you, which I think is very important, that you have some kind of social balance during tournaments, which I could fortunately have here. So I think that's also one of the reasons it went so well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's good to hear. And very final question. I was curious. I haven't read about it, but were you guys all tested before playing, or what were the measures before the tournament?
No, actually, only the foreign players were tested, or, well, officially those who came from a high-risk zone, which is basically everything foreign nowadays, those had to take a test.
Okay, I see. So let's move on from the Tegernsee, and once again, my congratulations to you on a fantastic performance. And let's talk about something else entirely. I want to talk about sort of everything that you have been up to, let's say, since the start of the pandemic, that hasn't been over-the-board classical tournament chess. And I found, for starters, my first question will be this tweet by Olympia Urkan, who is one of the most popular tweeters out there. And he said, which I thought was high praise, on September 1st, he tweeted, "The 22-year-old Alexander Donchenko is one of the finest at this Banter blitz thing." So tell us, first of all, had you seen that tweet? And tell us, how do you enjoy playing Banter blitz?
I might have seen it just by scrolling through this feed on Chess24. I don't actually have a Twitter account. But the Banter blitz, well, it's also a question if it's competitive or not. And I believe this praise goes insofar that it's entertaining to listen to me, I hope. And I'm very glad if this is the case. I also enjoy playing viewers, and kind of it's a bit relaxing, and still it has something to do with chess. I don't know. I never really practiced this or anything. Perhaps I don't know. People just like what I have to say. But that would be my guess.
Do you think you're funny, or do you think you're entertaining, or what do you think makes it popular?
I'm really not sure. I hope it's at least partly the insight I give about the games. If I'm funny, most of the time it's not a conscious effort. Yes, well, and the rest of it I don't really know. I haven't done this too much, and honestly, I probably will not have the time to do this too much. But if I have a chance to do it, I believe it can be a fun format for sure.
Absolutely. Well, very interesting. You were saying you might not have the time. So, what is coming up for you? What is going to keep you so busy?
Well, as I said, I don't have tournaments planned at the moment, but I hope to change that. And what I mean by that is more connected to, let's say, my approach to chess, because obviously, like Banter Blitz is not, let's say, it doesn't count as chess training. So it counts as fun, entertainment, or something you would do in your free time, basically. Even if you can earn some money with it, it's still. I generally try to focus on things that improve my game, and there are a few exceptions to that. So, for example, if I have the choice to analyze my Najdorf lines or play Banter Blitz, all other things being equal, I would analyze my Najdorf lines, which might not be as much fun, but it might give me more of an edge during the future tournaments.
Well, very interesting that you would say that. So this makes me curious. Let's say for the last 6 months or so, starting from February, March, when playing tournaments became a bit more difficult, how did you divide your time that you were allocating to chess, let's say?
That's actually an interesting topic, because I think the first tournament I played was end of June, so I had almost 4 months without a tournament. I literally played until the start of March, so there was no break there. But at the beginning of it all, in March and perhaps April, it was actually very hard for me to focus on anything chess related, because let's say I could develop a whole new repertoire in that time, or I could solve a lot of exercises. But it's very hard when you have no aim to look forward to. And I didn't do a lot there. I relaxed a bit. I took more or less a break from most chess things, which is actually something I never did in the past years. So perhaps that did me some good. And after that, once I knew that there will be this Czech tournament at the end of June, that's actually the time when I realized now I have to do something, because now I know what I'm working for. I know that in 1 month or 1.5, I will have a tournament again. I will play serious chess again. And this gives you a huge motivation to actually work on your openings, work on your other strengths and weaknesses. And I believe that it's very important to have these kind of tournaments in front of you to really motivate you.
Interesting. And now a question, so below your name, we'll talk about that more in a second. So usually we put the Twitter handles or the Twitch handles of people there, but since you don't have any of these, and we'll talk about that more. So I put your Chess24 username. I am no Berliner. Maybe first question, what inspired your username?
I honestly would have to look at when I created the account and think back a long way, because I don't remember. I usually have some kind of point with my names. Mostly it's a point that only I or a few select friends would understand, but in this case I simply forgot. It might have as well been a random number. So I'm sorry, I can't tell you more there.
Never mind, that's okay. So an easier question is, how much do you actually play online? Because I feel that compared to some other players, I haven't seen you in quite as many of the big tournaments, although I could also very well be mistaken. So how much have you played?
Well, you might not have seen me because I wasn't at the top there, but in general, I do play not so many games online, and even fewer under my own name. Mm-hmm. So people who let's say, you can find them on live servers basically around the clock. I'm not one of those. I play perhaps on average, I would say maybe 2-3 games a day, and some days I just don't play at all. And it's just that online chess isn't really the same for me. I do play the tournaments occasionally, but since I'm not really into online chess that much, I can't say it's one of my strengths. And with online chess, I just think I'm missing some kind of fighting component there that you have to really feel the opponent in front of you. It's I don't know, it's maybe a bit strange to hear that when you're used to playing online chess a lot, but I think it's just not the same and lacking some very important part of over-the-board competition.
I think that is a very valid point, and it's interesting because it's something we don't hear, so often. Like just the other day, I was listening to an Alireza interview, and he was being asked, why do you play so much? And he said, well, I think I'm just addicted to it. So would you say that for you? I mean, it doesn't strike me as that much, as you say. You maybe 2 or 3 games per day, or some days not play at all. So when you play, is it more like very, let's say, that you want to try out openings, or is it like actual training? I'm not trying to find the right words, but I think you know what I mean. Like there's a purpose behind the games you're playing.
Yes, I think you mean like what is my intention and my mindset when I play online.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of the time I basically play when I have nothing better to do. And this actually reflects in my rating. And not on this side here. I just didn't play a lot of, let's say, offhand games. But on other sides, I'm usually very low rated compared to players of my over-the-board rating. And it might be partly because I'm not a very avid online player, but it's also that I basically don't put in my best effort there. Sometimes even when I play tournaments, I'm not really that much motivated to do my best there. But sometimes, of course, for example, when I play some serious training games with friends, it's different. I try out openings, of course, but you also have to see that you can't do this under your own name because all the games are available, and it has been more than once already that I have seen online games of my opponent during preparation, and it gave me an edge during an actual game, which is, of course, something you have to avoid. So that's also why I think my main repertoire with black is like the Alekhine against e4 and stuff like that online when you actually see me play.
Very, very interesting. By the way, there is a guy, Christopher, in the chat who's saying, hello, Banter team. He's actually a teammate of ours. So hello to you, and hopefully the French League, hopefully it will be back next year. And now the final topic. So since this show is called Last Chess Week Tonight, usually we try and look at some of the things that have been on. We are in the middle of a pandemic though, so there is not as much going on as always. But one of the events that took place this week, and I actually just realized a second ago that it was not played. I thought it was played in Moscow, but it was an online tournament, and that was the Razuvaev, and maybe you can correct my pronunciation, the Memorial, and it was won by Vladimir Kramnik after a playoff against Yevgeny Tomaszewski. I know you were playing in Tegernsee, and you didn't have time to follow that so closely. But how do you feel about great players like Kramnik, coming back now that he's retired from over-the-board chess and still winning strong tournaments like this one?
With Kramnik, I think, first of all, he's not really retired for that long. It's not like Kasparov or even someone like Karpov would come back to serious competition. And besides, as I said, this is, of course, a strong tournament, but it's still not a, let's say, very taxing competition on your mental and physical state like a full-on tournament. So I believe, especially in such quick formats, your playing strength doesn't really go away that fast or even to that extent. So a player like Kramnik, who, let's say, if he still put in the effort, could very much be, let's say, in the top 5 of the world. He can definitely still play excellently online, rapid, and all of that. That doesn't require absolutely 100% focus on his career. So it will not disappear from his skill set just because he hasn't played a couple of months or played only some not so serious online games.
Absolutely. So congratulations to Kramnik. And did you get a chance to watch some of his commentary for Norway Chess, which you did, Polgar?
From Norway chess, yes. In fact, I watched some of the rounds. I thought the two of them were quite entertaining, and it's actually I think it's very useful because you see first of all two very strong players, but both Judith and Vladimir, and also two players with quite a different approach to chess. When you hear them talk about variations, it's they often disagree, or they even agree, but they come to the same result by different means. Mm-hmm. And since they all look at the games without an engine, it's basically their own unfiltered thoughts, and I think this kind of commentary is interesting even to strong players who would normally just hear, let's say, he just blundered a knight and the engine bar jumped from +1 to minus 1.5. But here you actually see what top players think and how they think, and there's more than one way to approach a position, and you just have to kind of find your own way to do it.
Absolutely. So to close off this topic, speaking of Vladimir Kramnik, and it's something we touched upon briefly. So Kramnik himself, if you guys watching us are not aware, he joined Twitter only this September, so only a couple of months ago. Make sure to give him a follow if you aren't following yet. And so Alexander, we talked about how you are not on Twitter yet. So first question, any chance we will see you on Twitter? And second question, I saw in the Chess24 chat from Fu Yi Vern a comment. I think he is funny. Ask Alex, is he considering to go the streaming route? So what are you what are the chances that we will see you either on Twitter, on Facebook, or on Twitch? Tell us.
Basically about both streaming and Twitter. My concerns that stopped me from doing it so far are the same, which is that I generally get involved in things that I do quite a lot. Mm-hmm. Which is to say, if I start playing a game, I will try to finish it. If I start watching a series, I will try to finish it. And unfortunately, if I would create a Twitter account and start following Anish Giri, I would have to read all his tweets until I can get a break. So generally, I have a lot of friends on social media, so if something truly important is there, they will notify me shortly. And with streaming, it's basically the same. Mm-hmm. I have considered it actually because obviously I have the spare time since the tournaments aren't as common as they used to be. But again, streaming is something you generally, if you want to become popular and you want to provide good entertainment, you need to really get into it. And this is what I would call an auxiliary activity. Mm. I'm a professional player, and that means I play, I train, and everything around that. If it's necessary or there's some other benefit to it, I can do it, but it's not my priority. And if I get into streaming, it might become my priority despite my better judgment.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you it's fun, but it is very, very time consuming. Maybe we'll have to wait, like with Kramnik, once you're retired, you can join Twitter. But that's not going to be so anytime soon. Okay, Alex, are you ready for your quickfire questions? Time is flying by, so we already only have 10 minutes to go.
Okay, I suppose I'm not ready, but that's kind of the point.
Exactly. So my first bunch of questions, and by the way, after the quickfire questions, I will open the floor to questions from the chat. So if you have any questions, you can let me know either on the Twitch chat, on the YouTube chat, on the Chess24 chat. So my first bunch of questions will be non-chess related, and a bit later some chess related quickfire questions. Okay, so first question, and you're allowed one pass out of all the questions because I'm so kind. So first question, which superpower would you like to have?
Invisibility.
If you could be an animal, what would you be?
A human.
What is the strangest thing you have ever eaten?
Raw garlic without anything.
If you had a time machine, where and when would you go? So which place and which era?
Perhaps myself at the start of my chess career.
And if you could teleport, where would you go right now?
I don't have a witty answer to that, so I teleport home so I don't have to travel there tomorrow.
I like it. Good answer. Which 3 people would you invite to dinner? They can be alive or dead.
Sorry, where would I invite them?
To dinner.
To dinner. I suppose one would be Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's actually a hard one because the other 2 are kind of wild cards. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of someone quickly, but
it's hard. I know it's a tough question.
It's hard. Yes.
Maybe outside chess.
Yeah, perhaps outside chess. If I could invite any 2 more people, well, probably some interesting personality of the past. Maybe someone like Einstein.
Mm-hmm.
And the third one, though, probably to a separate dinner. I would suppose some girl I like.
I like this, a separate dinner. Alex, describe yourself in 3 words.
God, I am no Berliner of 4. So, let's see, what can we do? Oh, God.
Slow.
Yeah, I wanted to say undecided. That's one. Very slow, yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll have to pass on that one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So,
there's a few easier one coming this now. Your favorite movie?
My favorite movie? Ooh. I probably haven't seen my favorite movie in a while, so I wouldn't know what it is. But since the only one I can remember right now, since I'm in shock, is the last one I've seen, which is about Spirit, the Wild Horse, a children's movie I really liked, and I watched it a week ago.
Good. Favorite song?
Favorite song? Probably Show Must Go On by Queen.
Interesting. Favorite food?
I would say mandarins.
Favorite drink?
Probably by pure amount of drinking herbal tea.
What was your favorite subject in school?
English.
And what's your favorite sport besides chess?
Does dancing count as sport?
Sure.
Then I'll take it.
I've seen you on the dance floor. You're very energetic and passionate. And finally, what is, according to you, your best quality?
That I like to think things through at almost every situation. You see what I did there? I just turned it around.
Yeah, well played. I take my hat off. Okay, now for the chess-related questions. Let's see if they get any easier. Okay, first one. I think you will get this one. Which opening will you never play, or would you never play?
Isn't e4 f5 called the German opening?
I didn't know that, actually.
I think so. So let's go with that one.
Which chess player would you take with you on a desert island?
Probably Alexander Fear, since I just learned that he is quite a good cook.
Shout out to Alexander Fier, who was also playing in Tegernsee. And who would you not want to be stranded with?
Oh. I don't have anyone I really dislike, so it's kind of hard.
It is hard. I'll allow you another pass. Usually all my guests have used their past here unless they had a joke answer, but when there's no joke answer, it's hard.
I mean, I could joke about some of my friends, but it's just not spot on. So.
Okay, we'll leave it for another time. Do you have a favorite streamer, chess streamer?
A favorite chess streamer? I don't actually watch chess streams that much. I mean, it's I generally watch tournament commentary and stuff, but it's not someone personally streaming.
Do you have a favorite comment? Actually, show us your T-shirt, because I saw it before when we were testing. You really should have a favorite streamer with that T-shirt. Do you have a favorite commentator then?
A favorite commentator? Well, Kramnik was doing a great job, but I'm not sure if he's an established commentator yet. Peter Leko is also great, and Peter Svidler, but basically the very high-level chess players. That's just the point behind it.
I will take this on. One word that describes you as a player.
You know this is going to take a while, right?
I thought these were quickfire questions.
I thought those were over already.
No, we're still just, they're now chess, but they're still quick.
Then I'm just going to go with well prepared, since it has a
hyphen.
Yeah.
It's just about, I'll accept it. Classical, rapid, blitz, or bullet?
Right now, the rarer the better, so classical.
Who is your favorite world champion?
Probably Fischer.
And what would you be if not a chess player?
A person doing something useful.
And finally, we're almost through. Last question. What would you name your opening if you invented one?
In fact, there is actually a line where I was one of the first players to employ it, but what would I name it? I actually don't really want an opening named after me. At least I don't care too much.
Really?
Why would I?
I don't know, for the sake of it, for the fun of it. The Berliner, obviously, says J Theory. The no Berliner.
Yeah, the no Berliner, some crazy gambit against the Berlin.
I like it. Okay, you made it through the quickfire questions. I think I saw one question from the audience, and then we are gonna let you go very soon. There was a question also from Fuyi Vern in the Chess24 chat about how much support do you get from the German Chess Federation for tournaments, for example, a tournament like the Tegernsee Masters.
I think for this in particular, they actually, initially the organizer was the one inviting me, but I think they are the ones who are actually taking most of the costs now. And in general, I do get support for, in earlier years for the really important tournaments like European Championship or, for example, Aeroflot or the World Juniors when I still played those. Besides that, there are some tournaments organized by the Federation, like the German Masters. Apart from that, for example, during the last couple of months, we had group training sessions with Gelfand. most of the strongest German players, and I think those actually benefited me. So I'm glad they were there.
That's great. That's quite nice. Alex, the time has flown by as I thought it would. Thank you so very much for your time. Final question. Will you celebrate your victory? Will you be celebrating your victory tonight?
Tonight, probably no. There is nowhere to celebrate, and it's. But I will probably celebrate with my family once I get back home.
Fantastic. Well, then have a nice journey home tomorrow. Congratulations once again with the victory, and thank you so much for joining us. It was very interesting and a lot of fun.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you.
Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Alexander Donchenko, everyone. Some very, very interesting insights there. I had to say, even I learned some new things about Alex there, and I'm sure we'll be seeing plenty more of him in the future. And now it is time to bring on our second guest. So let me see if he is ready. And our second guest is here, and it is the one and only Pepe Cuenca. Pepe, how are you?
Hi Fiona, everything fine. How about you?
Good. It's kind of weird to be catching up on a live show. I haven't seen you in so long.
Yeah, like I don't know how many years, like 4 or 5 years maybe, or something like that.
Time flies when we're having fun. We used to be colleagues actually here. You used to live in Hamburg.
Yeah.
Then I left. Then you left. Now I came back. But you're in Spain now.
Yeah, I'm back in Spain.
You moved to Ibiza recently, is that correct?
I'm right now in Ibiza, because during the pandemic, we were in quarantine in Madrid, and then that was too boring. So I said, okay, let's move to Ibiza. There's good weather, there's the beach, so I can work from there. So yeah, it's a fantastic place to work and live,
So you recommend it? Should we all be moving to Ibiza?
Yeah, all Chess 24 people, coaches, whatever, all here. Yeah.
Are you living there? Is Divis also there? Are you with some other chess players, or how?
No. Divis is actually in Mexico right now, from visiting his girlfriend, and Antoni's in Madrid. So no, I'm the only chess player here actually.
So people should go and visit you. Absolutely. I've never been, so I might very well come and visit you at some point.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Okay, so let's talk about, that's first of all, it's very interesting what you're saying. So I'm gonna bring up my first slide, because I was sure that you and Divis had been in Madrid this week. So maybe let's start from the start. You're gonna organize an event. Well, you are organizing an event together with Real Madrid. I don't think they need any introduction. One of the biggest and best football clubs in the world. And here is your tweet and Divis's tweet, translation courtesy of Google. So you were at their headquarters, or where, presenting this event. Tell us everything about it. What is it? What is it about? And when is it?
Okay, so it's actually a charity event we're organizing with the Real Madrid Foundation. And everything that we get in this event will go to the social inclusion projects that Real Madrid Foundation is actually doing everywhere in the world. And it's gonna be like a 12 hours stream with like huge personalities, like from football, for example, Solari. He was a Madrid player. He was the ex-coach of Real Madrid. Also Álvaro Arbeloa. And we'll have like the FIDE president, for example, as well, the Magnus Carlsen, and also some rappers, freestylers. So some interesting people, yeah.
Actually, I just pulled up the tweet. I saw that FIDE tweeted at 7:30 tonight, so I just grabbed that shortly before we went live. So they tweeted out tonight, Magnus Carlsen will take part in a charity event on November 15th, so that's next Sunday, organized by the Real Madrid Foundation and chess24.com. The 12-hour event, hosted by GM Pepe Cuenca, and I am David Martinez, will feature star guests including FIDE President Arkady Dvorkovich. So tell us a bit more, what exactly can we expect on the day next Sunday?
Well, we have a lot of things, like, for example, Magnus will be playing against the football players, and then, these freestylers will do some freestyle on a chess game, for example, and then we'll have a super tournament. We're still trying to figure out what kind of tournament we will have, but it's going to be like, a similar story like the Pepe and Divis Invitational that we had like a couple of months ago, something like that, like full of 2,700 players or 2,600 players. And we're trying to gather 1,000 girls playing at the same time in Chess24. So let's see how this ends. But
Pepe, you are always one step ahead of me. I had prepared this as well. So
oh, really? Okay.
Let me pull it up. So there we have it. 1,000 women playing at once. An article that was published today on Chess24. You can read it both in English on the main page and in Spanish on the Spanish page. And so we are going to try and bring together hundreds of women, hopefully 1,000 from what I'm reading. So what exactly is happening there? Well, people can also, of course, read the article, but very interesting, especially for me, of course, to see women chess promoted so heavily as part of the event.
Right. So yeah, that's the idea, just to gather as many women as we can in the website to promote women chess. I think we need this, and actually we're just sending thousands of messages to all federations in Latin America and Europe, everywhere basically. So it's just to have fun, just for the women to play against the users or between them. And I hope you to be there, actually.
Actually, well, yeah, I was thinking, like, I hadn't, because when I saw, this is another, I screen grabbed this just before we went live as well, and I thought I should get involved, actually. Like, I haven't heard of this. So you can count on me. And also, Suze Gaboyan from Armenia is in the chat with us. She's saying she is also in, so fantastic.
Awesome.
And Suze, great to have you with us. And she says we are waiting for an invitation to Ibiza. So looks like you will have a lot of people visiting you there soon. Let me quickly pull up, and hopefully this will work because I'm not the technically most gifted person. But this tweet here, so just there will be a short, it's just, there is no sound, but the tweet of the Fundación Real Madrid, where Solari is sort of announcing the event. And it's really, I think it's so fantastic to be able to partner up with a legendary team like Real Madrid. So tell me a bit about the photos from your tweet and from Divis's tweet. When were they taken? So when did you present? When and where did you present the event?
Okay, so this was like 10 days ago. I think it was the 28th of October. We were in the Real Madrid headquarters in Madrid. And, we were with Solari there. He was a very friendly guy. And he plays chess actually pretty well.
Okay.
He was playing an exhibition match against Magnus Carlsen. Magnus was playing blindfold. And he actually played a decent game. So
okay, very nice.
It was a nice experience, and he was eager to learn. He wants to learn, and then he was very excited about this event. He wants to make it like not online only, but he wanted me to go there, like to
amazing
to be with him. And then he's a very nice guy, actually. Yeah.
That's really, really nice. Tell us a bit, how did the event come to be? Was it Chess24 who started the initiative, or Magnus, or Real? Like, how did it all start?
I think the Real Madrid contacted like the Spanish Federation, and then the Spanish Federation suggested them like we're like a nice company to work with, and this is the way we got in touch. And we started working from there, and this is the way it happened. Sorry,
let me just recut your camera. I thought I was gonna fix it. Okay, there we go. And yeah, that's really, really great news. I see someone in the chat saying, nice idea, wrong club. Tell us, and hopefully I won't offend anyone, but are you a Real Madrid fan yourself, or?
Not at all, no. I support one team which is called Betis. It's from Seville, and actually I'm from the south of Spain. I'm from Granada, so it's from my region. My grandmother was a Betis fan, so I wanted to be like her when I was a kid, and then so that's why I am a Betis fan as well.
Okay, interesting. Final question, and I have to ask this to everyone, still about the same event, about the 1,000 women playing at once, which I'm, as I said, particularly excited about. Was this a little bit inspired by this Queen's Gambit effect, or it was already set up before?
No, it was just a random idea that Divis and I had, like the other day. We were not thinking about Queen's Gambit, so we always try to promote women chess in Chess 24 in the Spanish section. We were not thinking about Queen's Gambit or anything, just happened like that.
Have you seen Queen's Gambit?
I love it. Yeah, I finished it like 4 or 5 days ago, and actually I've been recording some videos about the series and the games that were happening there in our channel in Chess 24 here in the English channel. So I found it very interesting. I think the actress does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And the main actress, and I think it's the best chess production I've ever seen. Kasparov was one of the advisors, right? So I mean, you can see it.
Yeah, I think it really, really tells, and I always find it funny that I think there are still a small amount of inaccuracy, even in the chess scenes, at least from what I've seen around on Twitter. And I always find it funny that we chess players, we are so looking for any small detail that might be wrong, and then it's like, oh, you made a mistake there.
Right.
But yeah, all in all, really a great show, and I look forward to seeing how this event goes. I hope I can get involved, and if people want to watch your videos about Queen's Gambit, I guess they can do so on the Chess 24 Spanish YouTube channel.
In the English one as well.
And the English one as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we can all check it out, because sometimes, Pepe, that I have a little Spanish.
Yeah.
But not quite enough. So sometimes I have to watch your videos. And I still... Okay, we will talk about your videos later. I should not get ahead of myself. And next up, I wanted to talk about something I saw. I think you did just yesterday it went live. You were on a podcast, A Vivir. So I found that, but I know nothing about what it was about. It just said, well, Google translates that our guest is one of the best Spanish chess players and probably the best live commentator of the game. His name is Pepe Cuenca, and he lives chess like an Argentinian lives football. So tell us a little bit about what that was about and what you talked about on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the main radios in Spain. Mm-hmm. So they contacted me because one of the journalists that worked there was Chess 24 fan, actually. And they asked me about Queen's Gambit, about how it's to be a chess commentator, what's the difference between the chess commentator and a football commentator, how did I end up doing the chess commentary, for example, and all this stuff, and it was a program with comedians. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot of fun, actually.
I can imagine.
I was trying to fight them, so it was a lot of fun.
Well, very interesting actually that you're saying, that the guy who invited you is a fan of Chess 24 and all that. Do you feel that lately, like with the pandemic, with so many people being stuck at home, for example, football is not, even if it's still played, a lot of matches are played in front of empty stadiums. So do you really feel this effect that there has been a chess boom during this pandemic?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean the numbers have grown crazily. Like the audience in the broadcast, it's been much bigger. So definitely, I think there's something to do, has something to do with the pandemic. Has to be, yeah. But I mean, the chess has been chess has grown gradually the last years, but I think the pandemic has helped,
And we will talk a bit more later about, your experience. How long have you actually... I'll save my question for later. I was going to say, how long have you been working within the chess world? Obviously, you've been a chess player for a long time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think people even might forget, you're a strong grandmaster. Yeah. You're not just a commentator. So how long, I will ask you now, before I forget later, how long A, have you been playing chess, and how long B, have you been working within the chess world?
Well, I started when I was 5 years old or something. My father just taught me. I was, I wanted to make a lot of sports. So I was in tennis, in football, in basketball, and in chess. And I was good at chess, and then I stick with it. And working with chess only in the last years, because for me, chess was always like a hobby, because I had my studies as well. And I was working in the engineering field. But in Chess 24, I'm actually one of the few guys that started from the beginning and still there.
so that started, interesting. That started in 2014? What was
2013, yeah. 13. October 2013, I started working for Chess 24. Just mainly at the beginning, I was just a translator. I was translating articles from English to Spanish and vice versa. And I was also, I was not a GM at that time. I was actually an international master. So I was creating the exercises of the video series that others were recording, And it was only after 2 years or something, they tried me as a commentator. And then, it had some success, and I remained there,
This is actually a perfect transition to my next tweet. Because it has been quite the journey from being a translator to being a commentator. And just this week, viewers can see the tweet is timed from November 5th. So this happened very recently. During his Banter blitz this week, none other than Levon Aronian said, Jose, which is your real name, so Pepe Cuenca, he has to be the most entertaining commentator in the history of humankind. So first of all, what did you feel when you heard Levon say
I have
this?
To be honest, it made my day, So I really admire Levon Aronian, and coming from him, it was especially honoring. So, I just try to have fun, and then I try to transfer the fun that I have with chess to the others, and I'm happy like people like Levon Aronian, things like that,
Actually, I have prepared, hopefully this is gonna work. I found this video with some of your best moments. So let me see. I hope this is going to work. Okay. Let me see. Okay, there you are. Hopefully it will work with sound. So I'll just play a little bit of this video. So for people, I'm not sure we have too many viewers who are not familiar with your style, but just in case. So this video, by the way, as you can see, it was a best of Lo Mejor de Pepe Cuenca, a tribute, and this is not my video, it's by El Peón Aislados. So let's watch a bit of your best moments.
Okay.
Incluso condena de prisión. No, torre por E3. Se va a zampar el Facun, se va a zampar el Facun, se va a zampar el Facun y está casi perdido el negro, no. Y ¡pum! ¡Fin hay que hacer! ¡Bombazo de Nigel Short! ¡Vaya partida! Vamos G4, cuidado que ha hecho un jugador brutal, brutal. Dame F4, igual está ganando la partida. ¡Qué maravilla! Porque si torre por F5, dama por G4 gana, si torre H5, dama por G4 gana y la acaba de zampar la torre. Bigotello Firucha con esta maravilla, con dama. No.
Okay, so I think people get the idea. I just discovered this video a few a few days ago. By the way, it looks like I left the sound on a bit too late. So my apologies to everyone who was wearing headphones. But you really, I mean, I couldn't stop myself from, laughing out loud when I watched this video, and I was so happy to find it. And I was curious, as a fellow commentator, first of all, where do you find the energy to always be so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a very energetic person, I like doing things all the time. So for me, like doing broadcasts during 7 hours is not a problem. Then after finishing doing commentary, I can go and play tennis, and then I can go dancing. So that's not a problem for me. And the second thing is actually that many people think that chess is extremely boring. So for me, it's completely the opposite. There is a lot of excitement, adrenaline, and so many mistakes. So I just want to transfer how I see chess to the rest of the people, So that's the only purpose,
Yeah, and I mean, I think you really do. You have to be my favorite. I'm completely with Levon on this one. You have to be my favorite commentator. Actually, when I watched that video, first I watched it by myself, and I already thought, oh, this is so funny. And then later, because my Spanish isn't quite as good, my boyfriend Alex, who's Spanish, joined me, and he had to, pause the video and translate. He was like, did you understand what he said there? And I was like, no. And then he translated, and it was even funnier. So if you're watching this, get yourself a Spanish friend, get them to translate everything. And I mean, a really unique style. How did so you said you started out as a translator, and 2 years later you switched to commentary. So you've been a commentator for roughly 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
When you started out, I guess you were not quite like what we've seen. Oh, I guess the energy comes natural, but how did you develop as a commentator?
No, for me, it was like this. So I couldn't imagine myself watching a chess stream for 5-6 hours. So I thought, okay, we have to make this like, I don't know, different or something. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's just like to have a conversation with some friend in a bar. So we're just natural, so nothing is planned. And the way, the way we behave with our friends is just the way I behave in the streams. Mm-hmm. So nothing planned, and just natural, and see how it goes.
Very interesting. And this, like, for example, this ratatatata, or like this, what's the other one? Mate con tomate.
Okay, most of the things I just invent them, but in particular, this ratatata is a tribute to one of my favorite NBA commentators. Uh-huh. His name is Andres Montes. He passed away, and he was the best NBA commentator in Spain. And he used to say like this, ratatata, whenever there was a fantastic dunk or triple shot, something like that.
And do you get some inspiration? Because so often, I mean, also in this... the tweet from the podcast which I saw, you often compare it to a football commentator. Do you get some inspiration from other sports? And also, do you actively work on developing as a commentator? Or as you said, it just all comes naturally and a lot of improvisation?
No, I don't work like looking for sentences or trying to develop some new ideas. I just, I just feel it. I just feel it, and, nothing planned.
Very, very interesting. I want to talk, of course, I have you here on the show, and you're one of the two people, the heart and soul of Chess24 Spain. But of course, the other one is Divis, and I will for sure have him on at some point as well. I stole this photo, which I like a lot, from his Twitter header. Tell us a bit about you two. Just the journey that you guys have been on with Chess24 Spain over the years, what has happened and what's next. Yeah. But first, tell us the journey until now, and then we can talk about what's next.
We started actually from scratch, from zero. So in the first streams, I think the first time I did commentary with Davis, which is now one of my best friends. It was like in 2015 or something. It was the US Championship, and there was nobody watching our stream. Probably just 2 or 3 people. One was my mom. The other was was Davis' mom, and probably, I mean, just like that. And we started working very, very hard. So we started covering basically every single tournament in the chess world. And now after the World Championship between Carlsen and Kajaki, it actually exploded in Latin America and in Spain. And it started to become a popular thing. And nowadays, like whenever people want to watch a stream, they usually come to Chess24 to watch the Spanish Chess24 team. So it started like that. It's been a long journey, and I didn't know him before working in Chess24.
You didn't know him?
I mean, I had played against him like a couple of games, but we were not friends or anything. But now
that's so funny. I always thought that you guys had been like best friends for life or something.
No. We became very close since we started working in Chess24. And now it's been a fantastic journey. We have traveled the whole Latin America for events, for simuls, for exhibitions, for commentary, and also in Spain. And, I couldn't imagine working in Chess24 without Davis,
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out. And for sure, we will have him. We will have him on as well.
And I need him, because sometimes I get so much crazy. So he's the one who is calm, and then I need him, So
probably.
Huh? Yeah, the plus and the minus, So
exactly. I think you need him, and he needs you. So it's like a perfect team.
Right.
How did you go on about it? You said in the beginning from 2 viewers, not quite, but. How did you manage to grow it? I guess you started with Spain and then you targeted the South American market, or how did that all happen?
No, it's just hard work, because we wanted to do commentary on every single tournament. So that's why people know that whenever they want to follow a tournament, it's going to be in Chess24, and it's going to be those 2 guys who will be doing the commentary. So just hard work, I would say. And they like our style. I mean, some people don't, but most of them they do. So that's why I think combining this new style of broadcasting chess with hard work, I think that was the key of success,
And you guys, I mean, you really cover every event. Whenever, I'm as a chess fan looking online and there's something going on, no matter if it's online, over the board, a rapid, a blitz, classical, you guys are always there. Like, how do you do this?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't slept like too much in the last years, but it's been quite rewarding, So when we see people happy, and there were so many people telling us, okay, you guys made this pandemic so much easier for us because there was nothing to do. I actually didn't have a free day from March till July, during pandemic. We were doing streams like 4 or 5 hour streams every single day from March to July. So finally I needed a break, and then I brought all my friends here to Ibiza, and then we were like going to the beach and then doing some parties at home, because you can't party outside.
Yeah.
As you know. But
a well-deserved break.
Yeah, finally.
And so now is November. So what's coming up for you guys over at on the Chess24 Spanish site?
Well, I mean, we're gonna cover the whole tour. So basically, there's a tournament per month. So that's like 10 days per month of commentary. And then we have our only internal events. For example, we are the ones who invented the Banter Blitz Cup. Nobody knows this. But we started with the Banter Blitz Cup in Spanish.
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah. It was a great success in Spanish, and then we extended it to English. And we have our own Banter Blitz sessions, like our internal leagues, where we face another Grandmaster or something like that. We always have something in mind. And then I usually, upload games of the day or stuff like that, so to keep the channel quite active, yeah.
Pepe, after this show, I will send you a message to ask you for your tips for where the hell do you find the energy and the time. Like, it feels like my day has only half as many hours as yours or something like that. Okay, so that's all for the chess part. A lot to look forward to on Chess24, the Spanish side, and of course the English as well, where you also are involved. I want to, before we get to the quickfire questions, so I have a list of quickfire questions, and also viewers can ask you questions as well, so they can start doing that now, and I'll read them later. But just one last thing I wanted to talk about before the quickfire question is, so people know you're a chess grandmaster, they know you're a commentator, they know you're this and that. But what a lot of people, I think, don't know is that you also have a master's in engineering and a PhD in applied mathematics. So tell us a bit about that, which I guess will come as a surprise to at least some of our viewers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for me, chess was always a hobby. So when I was 17 or something like that, I was 2400 or something. I was an IM. But it was clear I was not going to be the world champion. So I was 100% convinced that I had to go to the university. So therefore, I studied civil engineering, 5 years in my city, in my hometown, Granada. And then when I finished, actually, the engineering field, the construction engineering field was terrible in Spain because we had this crisis in 2010. So, I was applying for scholarships, and then I got this Erasmus Mundus scholarship, which was one of the best experiences in my life. Mm-hmm. I studied 2 years abroad, mathematical modeling in engineering. I was in Italy, Hamburg, and Poland for 2 years. And then after this, all the time I was trying to combine with chess, but I was almost quitting chess, actually. It was just when I finished this, and then I was hired as a researcher and teacher at the University of Hamburg when Lawrence Trent.
I remember those days.
Yeah, he's one of my best friends. He studied in Granada when I was 19 or something, so we became very close. And he actually told me that he was coming to Hamburg to record some videos for some chess company, and then it turned out to be Chess24. So this is the way he introduced me in the company, and that's how I ended up there. But,
so you were by coincidence in Hamburg, which is the headquarters, huh?
I was working in Hamburg. I mean, it had nothing to do with chess. And this is the way I ended up in Chess24. I didn't even know that Chess24 existed or something like that,
Shout out to Lawrence Trent, the man who makes dreams come true.
That's right.
What a journey. But these days, so for how long has chess been your full-time occupation?
Like since I finished my PhD, chess is my full-time job, like commentator, Yeah. And I also try to do some engineering stuff. Like every 4 or 5 months, I work in some project as a freelancer. But my full-time job is Chess24 right now. It's commentator, yeah.
Absolutely, very nice. And I think the chess world is very, very lucky to have you. I see in the chat, I'm homeless on Wi-Fi, saying, imagine being Pepe's neighbor though. Have you ever had any complaints?
Of course, I mean, once the police came to the Hamburg office, you don't know that?
No, I didn't know.
So it was actually the first year I was doing commentary. This has to be like 2015 or something, or 14. I was in the Hamburg office where you used to work.
Yeah.
I was doing a commentary on the US Championship, and because of the time difference, I was working at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. So I was at some moment I was getting excited and I was shouting like a beast, and then suddenly some police people knocked the door, and then what are you doing? Like to the wall, and then all in German. I couldn't understand any single word, and I was trying to, because somebody called the police, and then they tell them that there was a chief stealing things in the building and shouting in some weird language, And I had to convince them that I was a chess commentator in my terrible German. And actually, after half an hour, 1 hour, after showing them some pictures in Google, about myself and chess tournaments, they actually believed me, and then they released me.
I can't believe I never heard this story before.
It's 100% true, you know.
I mean, especially I can just imagine, like, as a neighbor, if let's say you just moved in and I was your neighbor and you were doing this,
Yeah, I mean,
I would be terrified.
I'm a very clumsy guy, so you know. So even when I write on my keyboard, you know, it looks like I'm demolishing like some stuff, you know. So.
Commiserations to your neighbors. Speaking of the ratata, I see Fernando Quintero in the chat is asking, how did the ratata come to you? I think you already said this, but people, by the way, tomorrow or even as soon as we're done, will be able to go back and replay the whole show. But I'll just, since everyone is such a big fan, I'll just let you say it one more time.
Yes, it's just a tribute to one of my favorite NBA commentators, whose name is Andres Montes. He used to do ratatata whenever some dunk or triple shot was happening in the game, you know?
Very nice. Pepe, are you ready? Time has once again flown by. We only have about 5-6 minutes to go. Are you ready for your quickfire questions?
Let's go for it. Let's see what you have prepared.
Yeah, I hope you have never listened to them yet. 1 week I will have to start. Okay, you haven't, great. Because I'll have to get some new ones. Because otherwise, if people come prepared, it's not so much fun. Okay, so let's see if you can be faster than Alexander Donchenko, who took quite a lot of time. Remember, these are quickfire questions. First question, and the first one will be not about chess, later about chess. Okay. Which superpower would you like to have?
I would like to fly, yeah.
Good. If you could be an animal, what would you be?
So probably a lion, so I can eat meat without feeling guilty, you know, all the time.
Which compliment do you receive the most?
Not so many. You crazy, stupid Spanish guy, shut up.
Nice compliment. What is the strangest thing you have ever eaten?
Yeah, for sure some insects in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia while I was there in a conference working for a university like 2015 or something.
Did you like them?
I don't want to know what they were, you know, so.
But were they good, whatever they were?
I'm not so sure about that. I didn't like it, but, you know, you have to try.
Yeah. If you had a time machine, where and when would you go? So which era and which place?
Probably to the Roman Empire, you know.
Very interesting. And if you could teleport right now, where would you go now?
Probably to some Caribbean country, let's say Puerto Rico or Cuba would be nice.
Sounds good. I'm in on that teleport machine. Which 3 people would you invite to dinner? And they can be dead or alive.
Okay, so some chess person, for example, Mikhail Tal, and then I will take Rafa Nadal and Michael Jordan. Yeah, that would be a nice dinner.
Yeah, I'm a huge Rafa. I'll come with you in the teleport also at the dinner because I'm a huge Rafa Nadal fan. So I'll just invite myself.
Awesome.
Everywhere. Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, which is your favorite?
Nowadays, I'm using Instagram a lot. And some years ago, I used to use Facebook, but nowadays Instagram mainly. Yeah. So
below your name, there is your Twitter, but maybe you can tell us what is your Instagram so everyone
Well, I think it's Pepe,
you.
And then this Pepe/Cuenca. Okay. Or maybe it's not even like that. I don't know. Whatever, doesn't.
We'll get someone in the chat to look it up and put it in the chat. Describe yourself in 3 words.
I would say familiar, friendly, and a little bit crazy.
A little bit.
A little bit, just a little bit.
What is your favorite movie?
American History X. Yeah.
And your favorite? Yeah, it's a great movie. There's one scene that I find very hard to watch, but
it's hard, but it teaches a lot of things.
Yeah, it's important to watch as well. Susik, thank you so much. The Instagram is Pepe_Cuenca. Your favorite song?
My favorite song, probably basically every song from Joaquin Sabina. He's a Spanish singer, very famous here.
I'll have to check him out. So I guess he's your favorite artist?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
What's
I like different kind of musics, classical music to study, to work, and then reggaeton, Latin music to dance, so, whatever works.
Actually, do you ever, so you listen classical, it's hard to picture you in a way, yeah?
I do it, yeah, and I love it, but, I listen to rock or pop or, hip-hop. I love hip-hop and Spanish rap, so.
Yeah. What is your favorite food?
Basically anything that my mom cooks. For example, the meat with the Spanish fries and just egg. This is amazing.
Basic but tasty.
Yeah, right.
Your favorite drink?
Probably, when I go out, mojito, and then I used to love in Germany this Schokotrink, like chocolate milk. I love it.
I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, there will be some Christmas markets which are so nice in Hamburg, and they have choco milk with all kinds of different alcohol mixes, so fingers crossed. What was your favorite subject in school?
Yeah, probably mathematics.
Your favorite...
And, physical...
Yeah, all this...
Physical education, like sports.
Speaking of sports, what is your favorite sport besides chess?
I play tennis almost every week, and also paddle, which is some sort of tennis with balls. It's not squash, but it's only played in Spain and Argentina and Mexico. So
okay,
it's very popular nowadays here.
Look into it. What is your best quality, would you say?
My best quality. I'll just pass. I can pass on one.
On one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I passed.
Okay. So now for the chess questions, and we're really in time trouble here. Which opening will you never play?
Probably the Latvian gambit. Rubbish.
Which chess player would you take with you on a desert island?
Maybe Magnus Carlsen, so I can learn from him, and then he likes sports, so probably we will get along pretty well soon.
Good answer. And who would you not want to be stranded with?
Lawrence Trent, we lived together for 3 years, so enough,
One word that describes you as a player. Shout out to Lawrence again, by the way.
I'm a good fighter, actually, and a very bad technique, but a good fighter.
Your favorite time control, classical, rapid, blitz, or bullet?
Classical.
And your favorite world champion?
Magnus Carlsen, yeah.
What would you be if not a chess player?
Maybe an engineer.
Why not make use of all those years, all those studies, all those diplomas? And last question, what would you name your opening if you invented one?
Yeah, probably the Ratatata opening. I don't want to use my name,
This is the perfect way to end the show. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Some really interesting insights. I love the story with the police coming into the Hamburg office. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Yeah, thanks, Fiona. I really like your work. We are good friends from a long time ago, and I'm really happy to share this space with you here.
Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll see each other in Ibiza next, hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again. Everyone should check you out. Check out his videos on Chess24, on Chess24 Spain. Make sure to follow him on Twitter, on Instagram. Pepe, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that was Pepe, everyone. What a show it's been. It's been so much fun. We have 1 minute to wrap up the show. So since this is last chess week, tonight there has been one breaking story tonight. Iran faces suspension from FIDE over policy of in-your-face racism directed at Israel. You can read that story on Chess24. We will discuss this in more detail the upcoming week. And finally, if you're looking to improve your chess during this pandemic, coaches who are, by the way, the hosts of this show. I know we talk a lot about Chess24, but this is a coaches show, and they are launching masterclasses, which you can get at a discounted price of only $6. The first masterclasses will be with Raluca Skircha, with Kostya Kavutski and Jesse February, and you can head to coaches.com to learn more about these. So a fun way to work on your chess during these trying times. This is all from me for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you next week for another episode. Take good care. Take care of yourself.